Hey, Wambo World Entertainment, and we have Ahsoka news regarding Season 2. In terms of what we can expect, there's possible shooting dates, and the fact that they seem to be hinting that they are dropping using volume, or at least as much volume, and are going back to practical sets. I'll believe it when I see it. I still can't get over the fact that Ahsoka is getting a Season 2. Guess we get to look forward to more standing around staring at each other with folded arms, because that show sucked ass. But let's have a look at this anyway. So, IndieWire reveals that Ahsoka Season 2 is moving production from Los Angeles to the United Kingdom, meaning Lucasfilm currently has no film or TV projects scheduled to shoot in LA. Many believe the move overseas could be permanent, though a studio insider disputes the idea that all film and TV production for Lucasfilm would relocate to the UK. Lucasfilm has a storied history with the country after George Lucas shot the original Star Wars trilogy there. So on one hand they're saying we're not moving our Star Wars productions to the UK, even though all the Star Wars productions were done in the UK and around Europe. Pretty sure none of it was shot in the States, except like the model work and stuff. So it says, beyond that, why should you care? Well, the site has learned that as well as locking in an April 2025 shooting start date, Ahsoka Season 2 will utilize multiple different film techniques. It's noted that the first was shot entirely on volume stages, as if we didn't know that, because you could tell that with your eyes closed. Let's put it that way. It looked that bad. This will come as music to the ears of fans who have grown tired of the volume. If you need a reminder, it's a massive wraparound LED screen that creates hyper-realistic visuals displayed in real time. That largely saves visual effects artists from having to add them later and reduces the need for green screen work. The irony about all of that, what that just said, is it still didn't help the artists because they were still overworked, because last minutes they would still go change something here and there, and still you had to add other shit in there. Also, they neglect to mention it somehow, rather than saving time and probably what should be cost, ran costs up, which made no sense. So this continues. Many feel it creates lifeless sets, something that was a big issue for the 2023's Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium, and practically every Marvel movie, it should say. However, it's been utilized to greater effect in The Mandalorian, for example. No. Here's the thing. Its only good use was in the first season of The Mandalorian. And it was because it was like dark screen. It wasn't during the daytime with sunshine and tons of life and stuff running around. It was like a desert background at night. That's why it worked. And it wasn't overused. Where it is now, where the thing you have to put on it, you still have to create the thing you put on it, or at least film. And that seems to be getting lazy. I mean, I've seen questions being asked. There's reviews coming out for, what do you call it? Craven. And one guy said in it, how come CGI animals today look worse than the dinosaurs in 1993 Jurassic Park? And it's like, yes, why are special effects today looking worse than they did 20, 30 and 40 years ago? It's because they've gotten lazy. They're relying too much on this type of stuff, but it's also the fact that they are rushing the artists. They're not giving them time. It's like, create this, okay, and they're creating it, and then they come in and go, yeah, we've changed that scene, you need to change that now. Okay, how long do I have? 2 days, because this thing premieres in 3. It's like, wait, what? That is literally what's happening. So Viz continues saying, The Mandalorian and Grogu became the first Star Wars project to shoot entirely in California. So chances are the volume came into play a lot in the 2026 movie. This thing's coming out in 2026. They finished filming it, for Christ's sake, apparently. Ugh. For comparison's sake, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Skeleton Crew used it after shooting primarily in Los Angeles, while Andor and the Acolyte were shot in the UK and typically on location. Really? Andor is the only show, actually, out of the Disney Star Wars, that actually looked good. The worlds looked good. It looked lived in. It looked real. You could tell, though, when volume was being used. Like when he would get onto a speed or something. And it immediately, you could, like, it was so bad once they introduced it. But anyway, this saying, talking at the Star Wars Skeleton Crew premiere at Disneyland earlier this month, showrunner Dave Filoni shared an exciting update on where things stand with Ahsoka Season 2. And here's what this, whatever he is, wants to say. I'm so well into that as well. I've been writing it, and I'm still the single writer on it, and so I've been enjoying doing that. But it's a challenge, of course, and working some of these arcs through has been a challenge, and making sure it's all going to come out in a way that I think is exciting for fans. I know that they're interested in where some of the things I developed in Season 1. I'm pretty happy with it, love working with Rosario, so I can't wait to get back to that. Well, not exciting. Except the only thing that was good in that show was Ray Stevens. And unfortunately, he's passed away and they're having to recast him. Good luck with that. Even though he was the best thing in it, he still had nothing to do and still made dumbass decisions where you're just like, what? Ahsoka Season 1, it was retarded. That whole, don't get me started on the whole, her being able to get into a spacesuit and walk out onto the hull of the ship in a nano fucking second, and then do leaps and shit. Oh my Christ. I'll be honest with you, until articles and stuff like this come up where someone mentions Ahsoka, I forget that that shit even came out. And I watched it, and I'm pretty sure I reviewed it. Can't even remember what I reviewed it. We know Filoni is obsessed with this character. A character that should, for all intents and purposes, be dead. And he still goes, no, she isn't. She's still around. It was like, we literally heard all the voices of the dead Jedi in The Rise of Skywalker. Hers was in there, and he was still going, no, it doesn't mean she's dead. It's exactly what that means. So, what they're talking about here is the show looks like it's going to start filming in April of next year. It's going to be shot entirely in the UK, and it looks like they're going to cut back on volume and actually use real sets. And guess what? It's still going to be dog shit, because the first season was dog shit, Filoni is dog shit, and Disney Star Wars is dog shit. So, with that, I shall leave it there for this one. Cheers, and I will catch you in the next one.